computer. Okay. All right, well, welcome everyone to Ready, Set, Go. And this one is focused on what you need for your school day and how the school day is going to run. The first thing I would like to talk about, let me get Michelle in. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the supply list. And in order to find the supply list, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to walk you through the knowledge library. And again, if you're anywhere in Workplace, all you have to do is hit that W at the top, and it will take you over here to where you can get to the knowledge library. You'll click on the knowledge library, and then we have the school supply is at the top. I don't know if Jerry did that, but then the Ready, Set, Go recordings are down here below. The book list, this is an important place to go to for information such as school calendar, and Google Classroom will have instructions on that as well. But for right now, we're going to click on the supply list. And what Jerry Hagler, who's our administrator, has done is that if there's any changes to the list, she's put it in this errata section. That way you can be notified if there's any changes that we'll make the changes, but just in case you have printed off an old list, you can go here to see if there's any changes. That's the same thing on the book list, because occasionally ISBN numbers change, links change, things like that. So far, I think we might have one change that we might need to put on here, but so far we have nothing here. So I'm just going to open up the supply list for the dialectic just to briefly for us to just briefly look at it. The general supplies, the family crate with a name, and that can either be a family crate or a student crate. So essentially what that is some crate, toolbox. Some people have used toolboxes, but in my kids have been using a milk crate just because it's easy to pick up. But it's a crate that you bring to school and you use it as their locker on campus. So it will have all of their books in there, their supplies, just kind of a landing spot for them. Maybe their lunchbox goes in there. And for the classes that have homework that you turn in, the teacher will return them back to the crate. So this is up to you and your family on, how you want to do this. Now, a lot of people, we use a family crate and then a student crate, and then they will have a backpack that they may take their class information, their class things to and go to class. That's up to the student and how they want to do it. But we have morning classes, so a lot of the students in the upper levels will go ahead and put their history and maybe English together. They'll take it to their room, and then they'll come back after lunch and switch out math and science. So that's kind of, once you get there and you see how the day flows, you can make that decision. But definitely having some sort of a crate. The other item that people have used is like a toolbox one of the sturdy toolbox that you can put your box in and you can carry it. It just, the sky's the limit. They do, I think Hope would attest, they do, we broke so many that we just decided to go with the milk crate. But my kids are old and they can carry it. We don't need to worry about the rolling. And then of course, just your general pens, highlighter, scissors, glue. For English classes, a folder, the notebook, composition, or, just things like that. Cultural history would do a sketch journal. That's maybe something unusual. That's for our art. We want them to draw and look at color. And anyway, these are just all of our classes. Kim, do you want to comment on any of the science or math items that you might?
Well, I think, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think most of it's pretty straightforward. In a lot of the science classes, you'll see a composition notebook because we use those kind of as their course book. We'll take notes, they'll do their homework in it, we'll glue IMB pages in it, and so it's kind of a neat way to keep all their work together. Down in the math, it's just standard stuff, I think, until you get to Algebra 1 and above, and then you'll see that calculators start to appear. Graphing calculators at different levels depending on the math class you take. I think my only comment here is if you have a student that is thinking they will take pre-calculus or calculus at some point, I would buy the TI 84 plus. I wouldn't buy one of these lower numbers because the TI 84 plus can be used all the way through. So yeah.
Okay, and what this doesn't include is, you know, occasionally if they're doing some kind of experiment, you might need some household, you know, items that's not necessarily included on this yet. So baking soda, something like that. So these are just your class needs. And one question that Hope had, Kim, that we'll ask now, do they need to add a lab coat to these upper level classes?
Okay, so I was thinking we could just buy some, I'm losing the word right now. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Gowns, like surgical gowns, you know, disposable ones.
Okay. Okay.
We did that last year, and I think that's probably what we'll try again.
Okay. All right. So that's the supply list for the upper levels. Let's go to the, let's see if I can get, I don't know if I can get out of this one. All right. So I'll just have to click on that. Okay. And then the upper grammar level. It's this similar format, but of course you've added some crayons, some colored pencils, scissors, glue, you know, that kind of thing that's a little bit more on them. Michelle, do you want to talk about anything on this in particular for English?
Yeah, as they are in G3 and 4, they'll be turning in homework. So they need a red pocket folder. It doesn't need the brads inside. It just needs the pockets on either side, and they'll be using that to turn in homework. So red for English, blue for history. What is science? Orange.
Yes.
Yellow for Latin, and they don't do logic that. So they're all color coordinated. So these subjects need those pocket folders. That's for turning in homework. This is the supply list for both grammar 3 and 4. But for like, they're both are going to be doing a regular journal. But if you notice, G4 is also going to be doing the poetry composition journal as the older kids are. They're going to follow the same poetry assignments as the older kids. But they also need a small, and even if you just get one black one so they can take notes in all their classes, I just need, you know, a spiral notebook when they need paper, take notes. If we're going to do a quick writing assignment, they need paper. So I put small red course spiral note-taking folder. And then for Latin, again, they need the yellow homework folder. And also just a small 3-ring binder, the smallest, because I have a lot of class handouts, which they just print out in the beginning of the year. And then, you know, week 16, okay, take out, you know, this one, that one as the year progresses. So they need all those printed out and put in that little 3-ring binder.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go over
That
to,
is, yeah, for G4. Yeah.
okay, so then, and then I need to let Peg Fisher into the meeting because this was more, so I need to stop share to let her in, so. Okay. All right. So now we are at this. So Peg, we were just right here whenever you got in. Would you like to talk a little bit about what the supplies are for the G1 and G2 level? Let's see where did she go?
Yeah, I'm in, but now I can't figure out how to get the. Oh wait, maybe I'm mute.
Okay, we could just hear you.
And there is a little addendum on the bottom. You know, periodically a teacher may ask during the year, hey, we're going to do this neat craft idea. Can you please bring in boxes, like shoe boxes or milk cartons or something like that? Or maybe they could ask for a certain kind of Play-Doh or glue or something for a certain project.
Yes, and that goes for really across the board. And we also have quarterly projects that would be, you know, we give our students a choice in the upper levels and in G4, I believe in G3 too. Like they might be to do a quarter project on music or art or fashion. Last year we did one of the quarter projects could be on makeup. So those we can't really account for kind of supplies because I don't know what people are going to want to do. But I think we see Peg now.
Yes, I'm finally on and I'm unmuted now.
All right, so any comments that you'd like to make on just the general supplies or what they need?
Just for the general supplies, just to make sure that they do have their names on, especially their backpack and their school supplies. Now we do share a lot of those things, but if you can put their name on it, that's good too. And if you could have a separate, I did add just one supply box, but if you want to have multiple because the pencils and the markers and the crayons all take up a lot of space in the supply box, and then everything just kind of gets jumbled up. So you're welcome to have more supply boxes or keeping your crayons in a bag, because of course the crayon box doesn't last only about 1 minute. Also for the English, the reason why I said the red pocket folder with the 3 prongs and the 3 page protectors is because I'll either put notes or papers, or especially at the end of the day, I do a calendar thing for a behavior reward. So it's easy for the kids to be able to get to that calendar and know where it is, and so it won't get lost, because I do a reward system with that calendar. For the culture of history, art supplies, that's one of the things that I really love, is to be able to do different art concepts. And this is something that I did last year, and I would like to do it again this year. So it's important to have the oil pastels and the watercolors, and especially the watercolor paper, and then the construction paper. The science notebook, just to have their name on it, we'll put a cover on top of it so it won't get mixed up with any other notebooks that you might have. And that's something that will be kept in the classroom for our science projects or experiments that we do throughout the year. And that's something that you'll get at the end of the year. I guess that's all I have to say about the supplies, unless somebody has any questions about it.
We're good.
Is somebody talking?
No, we're all
Did
good.
we lose Rhonda? Hey, there you are.
I think we're still here. Yeah. Hey, the label maker is a good idea. That's right. I think the Hope's saying that to everybody.
Are you muted? No.
That's nice that we have safety goggles.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Reading all the chat comments.
Especially for the upper level science. You really do need those safety goggles. And I appreciate what Kim said about how last year we bought the surgical gowns, and we'll keep those on campus. But we have learned from Jackson Waddell that a lab coat is a very good investment, because he bought a lab coat a few years ago and now he's teaching biology. So come on.
Yeah.
What's going to be?
Yep.
So invest in a lab coat if you want to have a doctor. So-
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I was on mute while I was talking, so I said such good wisdom, but I don't know what I said. All right, so I think if that's all the questions, the headphones, I think I saw Hope mentioned about headphones. The math, the BJU math is done online, so sometimes in the labs that they may be able to work on headphones. So that is actually probably something that we should consider adding as well, because they can do those math classes in class, and it helps to have their own headphones. So, all right, and if there's any other questions, feel free to message any of us that spoke about the supply list. We're happy to answer. And then, oh yes. Oh, I have a room mom. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, I was just going to say that kind of brings us to the what is math situation. And so some people are not going to understand that the kids can be online for part of their math class. And so Kim might want to like explain that a little bit. But yeah, then you need to talk about the room mom.
Okay, so we'll get into more detail with this next week. So I won't go into a lot of detail here, but the math, we use BJU math, and part of what we utilize is the Christian Classroom Online, which provides math lessons for every BJU, like video lessons for every BJU lesson that you have in the book. And so you can utilize that at home as your teaching time. What they're bringing up is there have been times where we've had math labs on campus where we had multiple levels in the same class, and so the students came in and they would watch their video for the day as their instruction part, and then the teacher and the different aides that we had in the room would then walk around the room and tutor and make sure that the students are able to complete their lessons. And so we've done that in the past. This year we were kind of trying to have more instruction time, which is why I didn't put all of the, I didn't put the headphones on the list because of that. But I mean, it's possible that we do end up going back to that pattern. Also, Hope brought up a good point today, though, is you might want them at home if you have multiple children in the same room. Like my kids usually spread out a little bit when they are doing that. But if you have multiple kids in the same room watching a video, then you may want them to have headphones. So that's another reason. But yeah, we'll talk more about all that next week.
Yeah, and Hope and I were meaning the same, like at home, having some headphones. And then occasionally it's nice to have them at school in case we need to. Yeah, math, the next Ready, Set, Go will be all about math, what we need to know about BJU. All right, so now and then the homeroom. Hope, did you want to comment on a homeroom room mom? I think the question is, do we have one?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, like, if you have a child of an early learning through G2, it's always wonderful to have a home mom, like, I'm sorry, homeroom mom. I know that I used to do that for my son when he was in early learning. It's just a nice way to bless the class, and you know that your kid one day will forget a snack, you know, so it's nice to just stock up the teachers with a snack to have on campus, especially if your son is or daughter is like mine where they have a food allergy. You know, it's nice to just say, here's some goldfish, or here's some gluten-free crackers for an emergency, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think we can try to see if we can put signups up to do something like that. So, which brings us to Ted. You want to talk about lunch or uniforms? It's up to you.
How about both?
Oh, sounds good.
Well, every campus will have a uniform code, and we'll go over this at parent conference. And as you know, everyone is required to attend parent conference in August. It's in the newsletter. And just like these Ready, Set, Go meetings, there's so much information to share. We kind of spread it out, especially when you start thinking about some of the details of uniforms and lunch needs, those kind of things. But as an overview, Tuesday is a full uniform day, meaning that we will be in our established accepted uniform, and you can find that again on Workplace. If you look under uniforms, you can order through our vendor, and then you will be set to go for exactly what you're supposed to be looking like on each grade level. It changes for as we move up through G1, G2, G3, G4. And then once you get to D1 and D2, it changes to a more dressy look. And then, of course, our rhetoric level is they're setting the standard. So that's what it looks like on Tuesday. And then Thursday, it's a little more casual. You can wear your house shirt, and every student will be placed in a house. I know we have like 100 new students, so this is all new to them. And again, at parent conference, we'll make this very clear. But you can wear your shirt, your house shirt, which has your emblem on it, your logo, what your shirt, your house shirt is. But then you can also wear, you know, your established, your accepted form of a skirt or pants for Thursday. So Tuesday is a full dressed uniform day, and Thursday is full uniform as well. But there's a little more of leeway because of the sports and the club time that we do at 11 a.m. Lunchtime it's kind of different. Every campus has a food services director, and each campus looks a little different because of what they have to work out of. So the Spring and the Montgomery and the Willis campuses, all their food services director will kind of be communicating to each campus families what's acceptable on that campus, what they offer on that campus. But most of the time, it's going to be like they're going to order from Chick-fil-A or pizza, or they're going to make pasta or something. They're going to be creative. I know our food services director are going to get together at the parent conference and kind of coordinate what hopefully every campus is going to offer each week. So we're going to try to be a little bit more uniform every week. If it's going to be pizza week, it's pizza week on all campuses. You must order ahead. We're working on kind of a new ordering, a way to order so that you can place your order ahead. And then when you show up, your kiddo is on a list and a food has been ordered and it will be there for your kiddo. That's something still in works a little bit. Our new food services, Allison is our returning food services director, and then we got a couple of new ones. But we know that we will provide some food service on every campus on Tuesday and Thursday, and you would usually order that through Workplace. So every family has to make sure that you're watching Workplace, you're engaged in Workplace, and you're seeing all the announcements, especially when it comes to food for your kids. Because if you miss that, our campuses will have an opportunity for you to order when you arrive, but we would much rather for that to be up front. So we would love to be able to know exactly how many kids are coming. All right, very good.
Answer this question.
Oh, there's a question. You can bring lunch too. That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, we will have microwaves on all the campuses, and so you can bring your own food and warm them up. I think we got that right. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Rhonda?
All right, thought I would go ahead and show my screen as to where the uniforms are on Knowledge Library. For those of you, I'm going to go to share screen, and again, back to the Knowledge Library. Okay, again, so you go to the Knowledge Library, and the uniforms are a little tucked in here. They're in the Legacy Games houses. Click that button, and then you scroll to the bottom, and they're in Buy House Clothing Items. And then here's what the school uniform policy is.
You need to put that in another place.
Mhm.
So you can see where that is. And then I believe there's a link down here too. Yeah. So if you have a dialectic student, you can link on that. And it has, what you would need. We're out of stock on this one, but I'm sure they'll come back in. But here are all the options for uniforms. So that's where that's located. All right, so let me unshare my screen. So Dr. Ted, you want to talk? Oh yeah, Dr. Johnny.
I'm sorry that is so tucked in there, and I'll try to get another line that's just for uniforms, so it's not quite so hidden.
Yeah,
And I just want to say one thing. I know that our uniform provider has been saying, that you can get your bottoms, like your khaki pants and shorts, from Children's Place if you have little kids, or from Academy if you have bigger kids, and that is perfectly fine. I don't care about that, but let me just say a couple of things. The skirt has to, and I've been saying this for 30 years, has to touch, not wave at the knee. Okay, it has to touch the knee, and therefore if it does not touch the knee, we will tell you to buy another skirt. Your kids are skinny, I know it, and you're going to have to take a pleat in the waistband, or you're going to have to put a belt around their waist. I'm sorry that the world is not modest. I can't help that, but I can help that our kids will have a skirt that touches the knee. Okay, I think I've been emphatic about that enough. So, okay, so I've been so mean about that. Let me be nice about this, and that is that I get a lot of people talking about closed-toed shoes. Obviously, little kids, all the grammar level has at least one recess a day. Most of them have 2 recesses a day. They're going to go outside and play it up. And so they need to have tennis shoes and closed-toed shoes. But your junior or senior high, your junior or senior in high school girl, she is not going out on the playground. And if she wants to wear a pair of open-toed shoes, knock herself out, because she's got a skirt to the knee.
Yeah, and we remind everybody that is the executive director of the program. She's kind of like the head cheese. So whatever she says goes. Okay. So I work for her. We all do. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, if you guys have any other questions, we just want to walk through a few items to get you ready for the school day. We will be doing next week, we will be doing math. And then I believe the week after that, we're going to be talking about English and our approach to composition and grammar, things like that. And then on August the 10th, mark your calendars, that's going to be the Google Classroom Day, where we walk through how to use Google Classroom. Google Classroom is our platform that we use for communication with the students from the teacher. And it's actually fairly intuitive. It takes just knowing what you need to do. So that's August 10th, and then we have the parent conference, and then we have orientation day, and we're off to the school year. So very excited about it. All right. So I hope you all, if there's any questions, Dr. Johnny, you have anything to say in case anybody wants to chat a question, or are everyone good?
I wanted to ask about the bottoms. Uniform bottoms. I
Yes,
think I read somewhere that they can be anything, I guess, or khakis. Can we get clarification on that? Like
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Jerry. That's right. The bottoms for gentlemen, because Jerry has 2 boys, they are trousers. They are not cargo pants. So they don't have pockets on the side or anything like that. So the whole point of allowing us to buy the bottoms from other vendors is because of sizing. So you need to at least look at what is offered from our vendor and see their flat front, belt loops, all that, so they have to be like that. They can't be modified yoga pants. Okay. So, but if you have, somebody that has a sizing challenge, well, and you've got a vendor that really sells a product that your child feels comfortable in, then we want them to feel comfortable. And so, yes, go ahead and buy that, but you might want to check with your headmaster first, or one of us, just to say, hey, how does this look? But it needs to look like what we provide by the vendor. So it can either be khaki or navy blue, those 2 colors. Okay. And then of course those little girl skirts, or little girls, they're not little, they're girls, skirts that are plaid. So that plaid skirt is our skirt.
Right.
It does sell
Yeah.
from Lands' End for 3 times as much, but ours is more inexpensive, and we prefer you not give your money to Lands' End for
Right.
obvious reasons.
Yep.
Okay, and then one thing on the food that I wanted to comment on is that every campus will put out if there's any sort of food allergies that need to be taken into account.
So Rhonda, we're just going to go ahead and upfront say that we should assume
Yeah.
we can never have
Peanuts.
peanuts ever.
Okay.
It's just,
Yeah, it's getting too prolific.
Okay. And I know on our campus we had somebody with a strawberry allergy and things like that. So we'll be definitely letting every campus know, but I think it's good to say no peanuts across the board. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for participating, and I look forward to meeting everyone that I haven't met in person in the next week or so. So we will see you next week for Kim to shine as our math coordinator and talk about our math program. So everyone, please have a good evening. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Rhonda, give it up for Rhonda. Woo, 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 woo.